Welcome to your Material Properties module on glazing and hardware. This module will introduce you to glass as a material for glazing in residential construction. It will discuss various types of glass and their production processes, and also their fixing details using things like putty and sealants. It will also discuss basic hardware and sill details for windows. In the associated reading, we'll start with the different types of glass and their production process. First, we'll deal with annealed flat glass, which has two major types, float and sheet glass. While you do not need to know all the details of the different type of solar controls and tinting, you should understand the production process for a float glass and the types of thicknesses that it is constructed in. Similarly, for sheet glass, you should understand production process and the limitation that puts on the thickness of glass that we can achieve. In the discussion of processed float glasses, we can come across the definition of a range of different types of glasses, such as toughened glass, laminated glass, safety, and polycarbonate sheet. Once again, understanding basically the difference between them and their production process is all that is required. Quickly moving to the process of glazing, which is the application of the glass into construction process, we start dealing with the issue of how these sheets of glass are applied to a window or door opening. In a separate module on fenestrations, we will deal with the basic idea of jambs and rebates, which allow for objects to sit within one another. So here we deal with the issue of attaching the glass piece to the timber opening. This is firstly achieved with the application of putty, and so there is a discussion of putty glazing, which includes also small setting blocks and the use of putty in both timber and metal casement windows. Apart from putty, you can also see the use of bead glazing. Aside from reading the text, pay close attention to the diagrams provided, as they will help you understand the process much better. Once we recognize how putty and bead are used for glazing purposes separately, we can also see how these are combined together to create a bead and putty glazing. We then move to the section on double and triple glazing. It is important to understand what double glazing or triple glazing is, its purpose in construction, and the advantages and disadvantages of using this type of material. There's extended discussion on the energy properties of these materials that you do not need to get to in detail. However, you should understand how the properties of a double or triple glazed window can be enhanced with the use of inert gases. The construction of the window itself will include things like space tubes or bars filled with different kinds of air or argon gas to achieve better results. We finally continue with the discussion of the glazing methods, including the combination of bead and compound or bead and tape and sealant, as might be relevant to a double or triple glazing window. It's also important to understand the component of drainage within such a composite window format and the values it produces for sound insulation. Finally, we come across the section on hardware. You do not need to understand these in detail, but you do need to know the different types of hardware that are used for timber, aluminum, or UPVC systems. The last section of this reading will be more important as it focuses on the design of window sills. The sill helps in weatherproofing the opening and ensuring that any water that hits the window is safely taken away from the building surface. Once you understand that purpose, you can start recognizing the value of the design of the sill. The range of materials that are used here include natural stone, slate, brick, tile, different types of metal and plastic, as well as timber sills. Considering the waterproofing purpose of the sill, it would be important to pay close attention to the location of the DPC and other kinds of details that help take the moisture or water away from the opening. Once again, do not bother to remember the sizes, but they will help you understand exactly how these things are put together in a window assembly. That's it for this module. See you in the next one. Thanks.